It's time to get your geek on with Dave Gremillion.
Yes, indeed. Welcome, one, welcome all, welcome to every geek that's out there. I am David Gremillion, and welcome to Get Your Geek On, where we will talk Star Wars, Star Trek, DC, Marvel, video gaming, really everything that's geek. Doctor Who, Battlestar Galactica, Stargate. We're going to run the gambit here, guaranteed. This is it. This is the Geek Show. We will cover all things geek that have dominated this little world of ours. Oh, yes. Geek is really not what it was 20, 30 years ago. I mean, geek right now is in. Geek is very in. Geek is now the mainstream, and we are here to talk the latest and greatest. That is all things geek here on AM 930 KLUP Talk Radio and www.930amtheanswer.com. If you're listening to us as you're driving around this wonderful little city of San Antonio of ours, thank you for tuning in. What do we have coming up here? We're going to talk Resurgence. Yeah, Independence Day 2. I mean, the first one was called ID4, even though it wasn't the fourth. So this is like ID4 squared, ID42, ID42. Either way, it didn't do well. We're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about Suicide Squad. First time we're talking Suicide Squad here on the show. It's about a month and a half off, give or take. And I want to go ahead and start previewing that, give you an idea about what it's about, what to look forward to. And I've got a Jared Leto story. Yeah. Well, let's just say he really got into the role of the Joker. I also have a contest announcement. Yes, indeed, we're going to have our very own Get Your Geek On sweepstakes. You're going to like what we're giving away. You're going to want what we're giving away, and I'll tell you all about that after the break. And then James Cameron had to go out and open his big mouth. Yes, Samuel L. Jackson opened his mouth too. Thanks a lot for that. That gives me a lot of news to talk about. But James Cameron had to go out and talk about The Force Awakens. We'll tell you all about that coming up later on. But first, let's see here. I got to go through my checklist. I got to make sure that I have everything I need to get this show going. Do I have a refreshing beverage? Why, yes, I do. This is good stuff. Do I have my back scratcher? Yes, I do. Got to get that right spot right there. That works. Thank you. And then finally, I got to have a lightsaber. If you're going to do a geeky talk show in the 7th largest city in the country, you might as well have a lightsaber. I mean, that's a must. It's a given. Love it. All right, so the checklist is there. We got everything we need. Let's get this show on the road. All right, so hitfix.com gave me some interesting stats. Resurgence is officially a dud at the box office. At the box office. Now, I know people are out there, swerving in the next lane going, hey, it's a good movie. What are you talking about? Yeah, it was, I guess, a passable movie, but, box office-wise, no, it's a dud. The original grossed $800 million worldwide and cost only $75 million to make. And it shows. The effects are a little dated. That was 1996, so, yeah, okay. 800 million worldwide for the first movie, and this one's not even going to come close. Worldwide, so far, 150 million, and it has a $165 million budget. Yeah, my my sound prognosticator Goose over here is wincing. Oh, so it cost more than double to make, and it's made just a pittance out of it worldwide. That is not good. So is part of this due to the power of RottenTomatoes.com? I have to ask that question because it seems like Rotten Tomatoes almost has a monopoly on where you go to check out reviews of movies. Let's face it, if you go, you can go to Reddit and ask people, but if you want to look at ratings, if you want to look at reviews, where do you go? You look at RottenTomatoes.com. I don't think that's a big secret to anybody. And this one got a whopping 33%, and that's possibly a reason why some people were turned off and said, I'll wait till Netflix. I'll wait till DVD. It's happened before. Remember Batman Superman? Yeah, that movie probably should have made more at the box office than it did, but then people went to Rotten Tomatoes. Rotten Tomatoes made news when they said, pass. It's happened before where the Warcraft movie is a prime example. I saw that movie. It's a good movie. But it was scoring in the 20s on Rotten Tomatoes, so people said, move along. I'll catch it on Netflix. Is the power of RottenTomatoes.com affecting the box office? I say yes. I say absolutely it is. I know because I'm a victim. I look at Rotten Tomatoes and I say, oh, really? That movie that the trailer looks so good on only got 41%? I'll wait for Netflix. Yeah, because I don't want to spend $15 on a movie ticket and another $35 on a small popcorn and another $45 to make it a combo with an extra small drink that'll last me like 2 gulps. Oh, but you get free refills. Yeah, so I get to leave the movie I want to watch to come back to refill it. Yeah, that's awesome. Thanks. No, I'll just wait for Netflix to come out and not spend $112 to go see a movie. So despite benefiting from higher ticket prices and 3D surcharges, Resurgence did not even come close to matching what the original Independence Day did opening weekend. Let's see here. The original brought in $50.2 million, which is $9 million more than the original movie. That's not good. But you know what's also not good? What was the average movie ticket? What was the price of the average movie ticket in 1996? Now, I saw Jurassic Park in 93 at the theaters. The matinee was like $3.25. So take a wild guess what the average movie ticket cost. Now, this is nationwide also. Nationwide. San Antonio has a lower cost of living, and I love it. Fantastic. I love it. Yeah, the average movie ticket was $4.42 in 1996. In 2016, 20 years later, what do you think it is? It has, well, I'll tell you. It has exactly doubled, $8.58. So that means if you break it down and you factor in the cost of inflation, the cost of movie ticket, Resurgence sold 6.5 million fewer tickets than the original movie. Think about that. 6.5 million fewer people saw the sequel, despite it having a really good trailer. And I saw the trailers, and I was psyched. I was pumped. I was like, man, maybe they're going to take this seriously. Maybe they're not just going to poke a bunch of fun at it like the first movie did. No, I'm afraid not. So, and then to rub salt in the wound, I love this stat. This one's fantastic. Thank you, hitfix.com. Though Resurgence made nearly twice as much as The Shallows this weekend, it's the opening weekend, The Shallows brought in $16 million over its opening budget of $17 million. It broke even its first weekend, production-wise. And, yeah, Resurgence has a long way to go. I haven't seen the movie myself yet. I look forward to seeing it probably this weekend. I admit it's going to be one of those movies, despite the critics, despite Rotten Tomatoes, I'm going to go see it because it looks like a fun summer kind of an action flick. There's lots of explosions, which, you got to have. But a lot of people are now saying that Thor's brother, I'm just going to call him Thor's brother. I know he has a name. I know he's another one of those Hemsworths. But it's Thor's brother. He's the leading actor, rather. And, yeah, no, people are really panning him. They're not liking him at all. They're really not liking him in the movie. And they're saying that the movie really suffered for star power. Sure, you got Bill Pullman. You got Data. Data's back in it. And you've got Jeff Goldblum's back in it. That's star power, but that was 20 years ago. Now there's no Will Smith. And the new crop of actors they brought in really didn't excite a whole lot of people. It really didn't. So I'll go see it. Even still, yeah, okay. It's a geeky movie, and I'm a big time geek myself, so I don't mind going to go see it. So, all right. So with that being said, let's move off for a second. Let's talk about something fun, shall we? I want to talk about Suicide Squad.
I want to leap over buildings, want to fly over the shores, save the people from the villains, catch the crooks who rob the stores, write my name upon the sky, and when you call me, I'll be there, faster than a lightning flash, rushing through the...
Okay, Suicide Squad. This is a movie that is actually... I've heard a lot of pluses and minuses on this. This is actually one of those movies that I think has caught in the extremes of fans. On the one hand, I've heard people say they can't wait for this movie. Oh my God, I can't wait. Oh, it's Harley Quinn. Oh, it's a new Joker. Oh my God, we get to see the Suicide Squad, and I've read the comics and I know the lore, and I can't wait. And then we have people who've seen the trailer and they go, that's not Harley. That's someone cosplaying as Harley. It's like Margot Robbie is playing Harley. It's not Harley. And I'm sorry, that's the Joker? He drives a shiny car now, and okay. And these other people are like, what? Who are they? I really haven't heard a lot of in between. I have not heard somebody who says, yeah, it looks interesting. Yeah, I might go see it. It's either one or the other. Either you love and cannot wait for this movie, or you're just groaning and you're like, oh, God, this stupid movie. But either way, you're talking about it. And here's my point. This movie is being talked about a lot. It is being talked about on social media a lot. In fact, ComScore, which is a tracking service, yes, they're watching you. Ooh. Yeah, they watch what you say online, and they track certain things like how often you say Suicide Squad, how often you say Star Wars, how often you say Star Trek Beyond, and so on. They track these things. It's what they do. And they've been tracking who's been talking about Suicide Squad, and apparently just about everyone is. It's being talked about 2-1 more times than Rogue One. Now, given that Star Wars is supposed to come out in December, I almost expect that. I expect them to be talking about it more, but 2-1? With the news that's come out recently, with Entertainment Weekly leaking some tidbits and pictures and this, that, and the other. We talked about it on last week's show, which, by the way, you can check the podcast if you miss any of our shows at 930amtheanswer.com. By the way, I know I'm getting off the subject here, but I just want to give a little thank you, little shout out to everybody out there, because the podcast is actually the most listened to podcast locally on the station. We are number one. We are I'm not making this up. You can go look. It says like the number of listens. There are like 20 something local podcasts at 9:30 a.m. The Answer, and we're number one. And we're only been on here for a couple of weeks. So to the geeks, I want to say thank you for making us as awesome as we are. And to everybody else, I want to say nah. Okay. Oh, so where was I about that one? Oh yeah. All right. So people are talking about almost 2-1 over Rogue One. Considering the powerhouse that is Star Wars, I think that's actually a really good sign. Now, are they talking positively or negatively about it? That's something different. But talk is talk. If you're at least talking about it, that's one thing. Because even if you hate the idea of the movie, even if you say, oh, God, that's not Harley Quinn at all, chances are you may still go see it. For a couple of reasons. One, it's a geeky movie, and you want to go see geeky movies. And two, maybe you want to see how bad it is. Or maybe you want to be proven wrong. Maybe deep down, in places you don't talk about at parties, you actually are hoping it's a good movie. Well, DC Studios, they're also hoping it's a good movie too, because the last one they put out was Batman Superman. And we all know how that went. So they're really hoping for a home run. And it may actually happen. They may actually get it. In fact, this could be the biggest comeback of a movie since the Cavs won the NBA Finals. I'm sorry, Spurs fans, but hey, at least you're not Warriors fans. I'm sorry, Warriors fans. So, because everybody, I remember when the first trailer came out, everybody hated it. They looked and they're like, are you serious? What is this? What is this nonsense? But now people are starting to come around. I'm hearing more positive talk about it than I am negative talk lately. So I'm kind of interested, and I'm going to go see it. I am. I admit I was one of the ones that was also kind of put off, saying, yeah, that's not Harley. I don't get it. And what's with the Joker? I don't, what? But I'm going to go see it as well. I admit it. I absolutely am going to go see it. Speaking of Batman Superman, kudos to my sound prognosticator over here, the Big Goose, who reminds me that Batman Superman Ultimate is now available for digital download. Goose, quick question for you here. Available for, it's Batman Superman Ultimate. Was it like extended? It's the Super Awesome Extended Edition?
Yes, the Ultimate Edition. So they added about a half an hour of extra footage.
So they Peter Jacksoned it.
Kind of, sort of. But from what I understand, there's a lot more Clark Kent. There's more of that. And it kind of makes more sense.
Oh my God, a movie that makes sense.
Yeah. So it is available for digital download. The physical copies come out next month.
Woohoo!
So so if you are interested in the Ultimate Edition, go to your digital download and Vudu or Amazon and get it today.
Alrighty. All right, so that's the Ultimate Edition. I always loved, director's cuts and things like that because it makes you kind of wonder what happened. Why didn't you include this? I own the ultra long extended. It's like a 45-hour, movie with Peter Jackson and The Lord of the Rings. I don't own The Hobbit because that was, God, it had Legolas in it. I mean, what they wanted Aragorn. All right, no, I'm getting off on a tangent here. Oh, gracious. All right, so let's talk about the movie itself. This is kind of funny. The director tweeted out that he finally finished. He's finished all the edits, all the cuts, everything he wants. There are no other reshoots they're going to do. And he said there's nothing like it out there. It is a beast. Okay, way to raise expectations. Probably trying to drive some people into the box office a little bit, but it makes me kind of curious, I got to say. I mean, what else? What's he going to say, though? Yeah, I finished all the cuts and everything, and whatever. I'm looking forward to my next project. The movie's so-so. I'd love to see a director tweet that sometime. Yeah, not my best work. I think I was drunk during most of it. I mean, what else are they going to say other than, it's like the best movie, they ever did or whatever. The budget, get this. This movie has a higher budget than The Dark Knight, Man of Steel, and The Avengers. Think about that for a minute. This is Suicide Squad. Suicide Squad. It's not the Wonder Woman movie. It's not Man of Steel. It surpasses all these. The budget, while they haven't officially admitted how high it is, they have admitted that it is north of $250 million for Suicide Squad. So yeah, so they're banking seriously on this. I mean, that's a chunk of cash. Tom Hardy. If you know Tom Hardy, he left the project. Apparently, while they were still doing script rewrites and they hadn't really done any serious shooting yet, he was supposed to be Rick Flag, the leader of the Suicide Squad. And he looked at the final script, which cut a bunch of his time and gave more screen time to Will Smith and to Jared Leto. Leto? I don't know. Well, I'm going to call him Leto. Jared Leto gave him more screen time. Okay, well, first it's Will Smith. He's the king of cool. I mean, did you see Hitch? Good Lord. The man can act.
Did you see the first Independence Day?
The first Independence Day. My favorite scene from that movie, and I'm not truly a fan of the first Independence Day. It's hokey and too stereotypical for me. There's just no depth to it at all. But my favorite scene is when Will Smith is with Vivica A. Fox, and he's getting ready to go to El Toro, and he's got his bags packed, and she says, "But you are not as charming as you think you are, sir." And he looks at her, and without any sarcasm, without any over-the-topness, he looks at her and says, "Yes, I am." And dude, even I was like, "Oh, you go, Will. Yay." That's the best part. I love that part of the movie. I love it. I really do. And yeah, Will Smith did a good job there. He did a good job in Hitch. There was After Earth. Oh, God. Ugh.
There was this thing called Men in Black.
Men in Black. Yeah, that was a minor feature. Did anybody really watch the third one? I mean, the second one was bad enough. You watched the third one?
I got in at a discount. So.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, that's the difference. I understand. The second one really wasn't that good. It was really short. I didn't like the villain. I didn't like the plot. And, of course, the plot twist was extremely painfully obvious. The first one was good. And it's Will Smith. You have to give Will Smith more screen time as long as it's not After Earth. That movie was an absolute train wreck from start to finish. It was just a nightmare of a movie. It's like M. Night, dude. Remember you used to make good movies? You remember those days? How about you go back to those days of actually making good movies? But instead, M. Night Shyamalan decided, no, I'm just going to do self-serving crap and, be really good friends with Will Smith.
So it's decided, keep Will Smith in the present. Don't take him to the past, a la Wild Wild West, and don't take him to the future, a la After Earth.
Now, the movie Wild Wild West was not that good, but Will Smith was pretty good. Plus, he had the rap. I mean, come on. That was, that was Will Smith actually in his heyday. He was post Fresh Prince, but he was going into that rap phase that he does. And he did the Men in Black rap. He did the Wild Wild West rap, which, I mean, come on, South Park did the...
He was a rapper before the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air.
Yeah, but he wasn't as well known. Yeah, I mean, come on. That's like, saying that, I used to be a teenager back in the day, and now I'm not. But I know teenage stuff. Nah, okay. All right, anyway. Wild Wild West, that's another weird movie. That's another movie that just... I want to like it. I really do want to like it because it's got Kenneth Branagh. It's got Selma Hayek. Ha, 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 Selma. And it's got Will Smith. And it's got Kevin Kline. 4 fantastic Oscar-winning slam-bang actors. And one of them I really want to just say hi to. That's you, Selma. Hi. And that movie just... good gracious. All right, so that covers Suicide Squad. No, I do have one more thing. The Jared Leto story. I almost forgot the Jared Leto story. So Jared Leto really got into the part of the Joker. And this seems to be a tradition among Jokers. Like Jack Nicholson really got into the Joker, even like the director said, cut. Heath Ledger, the role killed him, along with maybe the Olsen twins. We don't know. But seriously, Heath Ledger would lock himself in his room with manuscripts and journals and piles of Joker comics and DVDs and VHS tapes, because remember, this was back in the day. He immersed himself completely in the role, and it ultimately destroyed him for it. Now Jared Leto is getting into the scheme here. He sent gifts to his co-stars. Isn't that nice? Aw, he sent gifts to everyone. Yeah, he sent a box of bullets to Will Smith. Think about it. You get a gift. You're Will Smith, the king of cool. You get a box from Jared Leto. You're like, oh, that's pretty nice, kid. Thanks a lot. And it's a bunch of bullets. And you're like, what? So how do you think Margot Robbie felt? I think it's Margot Robbie. How do you think she felt when she got a black box? And she got a love letter from the Joker, right? Not from Jared Leto, because he's in character. And inside the box was also a live rat. And I'm not talking about a cute, cuddly little mouse. I'm not talking a hamster or a gerbil. No, he gave her a live rat. Okay. So Jared Leto, talk about getting into the role there. Good gracious. Okay, so coming up after the break here, we got a break in just a little bit. Contest. Yes, I want to give away some stuff. I want geeks to get stuff. And I'm not just giving out little party favors. No, I'm giving out some really cool stuff here. We're going to talk James Cameron and how he's criticizing The Force Awakens. And we're also going to be talking about Samuel L. Jackson and how he opened up his mouth. Actually, that's more... The Samuel L. Jackson story is really more of a story about how clickbait can just take something and run with it, and how a lot of people, sadly, are very gullible and don't check things. That's no bueno. That's not good at all. But that'll be coming up after the break. Don't forget also, I want to mention that if you are listening to us live, thank you very much. But don't forget also about the podcast. We are at 930amtheanswer.com. You'll look under local podcasts and you'll find us there. You can catch us streaming. Check us out also on Facebook, facebook.com/GYGO official, where that's a lot of where the sweepstakes is going to take place. Also got a lot of cool stuff on there. Info about our sponsors, info about us, info about me. No info at all about Goose because he's got to earn his wings. Get it? Goose. Wings. Okay, all right. I'm not doing that again. Oh, and as the music reminds me here that we're getting close to our break. Want to make sure to step by this weekend and see our friends at Alamo City Comics for their huge 4th of July sale. They're located at 15681 San Pedro, 78232. They're on the north side. It's just a little bit above Brook Hollow. I've been in the store. I've seen the store. I love the store. A great blend of the old and the new. Make sure you stop by this weekend. Big 4th of July sale at Alamo City Comics. We'll be back in a bit. Stay geeky. Yes! Love it. Yeah, I've been doing some research. I've been looking around. I know we're the only geeky talk show in San Antonio. I know that. I'm reasonably sure we're the only one in all of Texas. I'm reasonably sure. I've been looking online, and I figure if we're going to be trailblazers, if we're going to break some real ground here that hadn't been broken, that needed to be broken. I mean, if we've got talk radio for politics and sports and money, why can't we have one for geek? But if we're going to do that, let's do it with some Hendrix, you know? Let's do it with some AC/DC. I'm going to find some way to get some Guns N' Roses in here sometime, too. Why not? Oh, man. Because that's what people think. It's like, oh, it's a geeky show, right? You talk Star Wars. You talk Star Trek. Hey, live long and prosper. Yeah, that's what it was like 20 years ago to be a geek. Yeah, no. Not anymore. No way. All right, so let's get right down to it. Let's talk about this sweepstakes. Starting July the 2nd, you got to go over to the Facebook page because the Facebook page is where you will find a daily post. The more shares you get of that daily post, the more entries you have. One share, one entry. But what am I going to win? I'm getting to that. Calm down. Now, obviously, I'm sad to say that Goose cannot apply. I'm sorry about that, but, rules are rules. But that means that's just more opportunities for y'all to win. I am going to put up 2 items, and I will ship anywhere. And I mean anywhere. I will ship globally. Doesn't matter to me because there are geeks all over the world. I'm not going to exclude someone because they live in the UK or Canada or Germany or Japan or wherever. I think I got a listener out in the Philippines, too. That's kind of cool. So here's what's up for grabs. I have a Starfleet Academy class ring, like the one that was seen in Star Trek Into Darkness. It is not the ring that was in Star Trek Into Darkness, but it's a replica ring. It's pewter-ish. I'm not sure exactly what it's made of, but it's not one of those little rinky-dink plastic ones. This is an actual Starfleet Academy ring. I'm going to put that up, and because I know everyone else out there's like, oh, Star Trek, and all the Trekkies are like happy. Yeah, I'm also putting up a Boba Fett watch. It is a stylish, handsome-looking watch. It's rather large, actually, and it has the Boba Fett helmet right there on the face of it. So those 2 will be going up, shipping for free to anybody who wants it. All you have to do is go to facebook.com/GYGO official, because don't go to the pretenders, go to us, and you'll see I've got a lot of stuff up there already. All you have to do is look for the post of the day about the contest, and it'll plainly say, ding, 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 this is it, this is the one you want, and just share it. You can share it to your wall. You can share it to a friend's wall. You can share it to a group, to a page. I don't care. Share it anywhere you want, as much as you want. And you could win the watch and the ring. And that'll be going on through the 16th. So July 2nd through the 16th, you go to the Facebook page, facebook.com/GYGO official. Look for the post of the day and get it shared anywhere you like. 1 entry, 1 share. 10 entries, 10 shares, it doesn't matter. Share it as much as you want. I will pick the winner at random, and I will announce it sometime after the 16th, and then get your shipping information, and off it goes to you. How cool is that? Well, I have the items, and I've seen them, and I can tell you, it's really cool. Okay, so let's talk about a little James Cameron and his comments about Star Wars.
I'm looking forward to completing your training. In time, you will call me Master.
Okay, so James Cameron, the legendary director, whether you like him or not, whether you love Titanic or Avatar or not, you got to admit the guy is an absolute legend. He's won Oscars. He has like more money than anybody else outside of Mark Zuckerberg or Bill Gates. I mean, the guy is an absolute legend. And yeah, he decided to open his mouth about The Force Awakens 6 or 7 months after the fact. I don't get it myself. I like, where have you been? I can understand. All right, well, let's read the quote, and then we'll get into this. I just don't get why you wait until June, late June, to say it, because this dropped a few days ago. All right, so he says, quote, I have to say, he has to say, 4 words in, and I'm already like, really? I have to say that I have felt that George's group of 6 films had more innovative visual imagination, and this film was more of a retrenchment, ooh, there's your Scrabble word of the day, to things you have seen before and characters you had seen before. And it took a few baby steps forward with new characters. So for me, the jury's out. I want to see where they go with it. End quote. Okay, let's start with this. First of all, I can understand him not saying this in December. Everyone's heaping praise on the movie by the truckload. It's taken the world by storm. It's shattering box office records. Why do you want to come out and just crap on the movie? I can see that. I can see waiting through January because, again, the movie's huge. It's getting bigger. So, okay, keeps his mouth shut. But right around February or March is where people who had seen the movie a bajillion times started to say, hey, wait a minute. I think I've seen that somewhere before. Huh. So why didn't he come out then? Why now in late June is when this dropped? It's July now, but in late June he dropped this comment. I don't get it. Now, apparently he and George got together at Skywalker Ranch and they watched the movie together. So I don't know if he's trying to suck up to George, if he's trying to have George's back. George has actually had kind of a rough time lately. His museum that he was going to have in Chicago, pulled it. Done. Looking like it's going to go back to San Francisco, even though San Francisco told him to kiss off. They didn't want it either. Okay then. I guess nobody wants this George Lucas museum. He's going to find a spot for it somewhere, but gracious. All right, so let's break this down. I'm going to come out and say it. James Cameron is not 100% wrong on this. There definitely was a lack of imagination that went into the film at some points. And let's go over a few real quick here. Okay, so tell me which movie this is. Is this A New Hope or is this The Force Awakens? Let's play a little game here. Okay, which one is it? A man in a black outfit with a hood and mask and red lightsaber steps out of let me rephrase that. Okay, steps. Oh, man. Oh, I don't want to give it away. Okay, all right. Stormtroopers come into an area. They meet some initial resistance, end up killing everybody except for one person. And that one person gets to meet the big bad guy who is wearing all black, follows after the stormtroopers, and then ends up killing that person. Which movie is it? Is it A New Hope or The Force Awakens? It's both. Think about it. In the beginning of A New Hope, okay, stormtroopers blow open the door to the Tantive 4. They rush forward. They meet some initial resistance from the rebels, but they're able to cut them down. They take one guy, I believe it was Captain Antilles, prisoner. Darth Vader shows up, surveys the scene, interrogates Captain Antilles, and then crushes his neck with his hands and throws him against the wall. Force Awakens, stormtroopers come down. It's true to a planet, but still they meet some initial resistance. They kill off the villagers except for one guy who Kylo Ren comes out, interrogates, and then ultimately kills. It's the same thing. How about this? Is this A New Hope or is this the Force Awakens? You tell me. a rebel resistance leader has a special piece of information that they have to get to the resistance or rebellion, they have to get to the good guys, and so they stick it in a droid for safekeeping on a desert planet. Come on, which one is it? It's both. Poe Dameron and the map to Luke Skywalker, Leia, R2-D2, and the Death Star plans. So yes, there are remarkable similarities, and you can call it a lack of imagination if you want. A lot of people were saying, oh, it harkens back to the original trilogy, which is great because the prequels were okay. We're not going to go there just yet. We're not ready. No, San Antonio, you were not ready. We will talk prequels versus original trilogy one day, but this town is not ready for that epic battle just yet. So he's not 100% wrong. James Cameron saying that this lacked imagination is not completely wrong in a sense. But still, yeah, okay. I don't really think that he is one to talk about a movie that lacks a visual imagination. Did you see Avatar? James, my buddy, my bro, my amigo. Did you see Avatar? Because if you saw Avatar, I don't know what you saw. I saw Dances with Wolves in space. I saw Pocahontas in space. I saw Pocahontas with wolves in space. It's so cliche. It is literally a cliche. You put a cliche on film, and you sold it for like $11 billion. I mean, that's incredible. Now, Titanic, okay, hey, that's good. I like that. True, the boat sank, but I actually enjoyed a lot of Titanic. I didn't enjoy the Celine Dion song being played over and over and over again on the radio, and then at my homecoming, and then at my prom, and it was the only, oh my God, get a song out of my head. But Avatar's hardly original. Not true. Visually, it was breathtaking. The Hallelujah Mountain scene was just gorgeous. So the animals, okay, I get that. But as far as lacking imagination, I mean, come on, you put a cliche on screen. And then what is Avatar 2 going to be? The humans return and they have to defend their planet again? What are you going to do with Avatar 2 that is going to be so visually imaginative that we haven't already seen? What are you going to do? We already know that Hollywood's running out of ideas. Hello, sequels. And now here comes another sequel by the guy who says that Force Awakens lacked imagination. There's another thing on here. Let me read this again. He does say the jury's out. Okay, so that's fine, even though you just said it lacked imagination, but yet the jury's out. But he also said, right at the beginning, I felt that George's group of 6 films had more innovative visual imagination. You're comparing 6 films to 1. You're comparing the innovative visual imagination of 6 movies to 1. And not only that, but 6 movies that didn't have nearly as much pressure on them as The Force Awakens to knock it out of the park. Oh, okay, Phantom Menace had a lot of expectations, but we saw what happened there. I mean, you can't, I laugh at all these people who say, what's better, the Clone Wars or Rebels? Well, let me see. The Clone Wars had like 6 seasons? 5.5, 6 seasons? And you're comparing it to Rebels that has had 2? You can't compare. Not yet. And I saw this after like the first half of the first season, and people were already making comparisons. I'm like, are you stupid? No, really. I want to know, are you stupid? How do you compare a complete show, well, mostly complete, sorry, Clone Wars fans, to one half of a season of Rebels? You can't do it. And yet here he is comparing 6 movies that were visually imaginative. Yeah, I remember that pod race scene that everybody just oohed and awed about that went on for way too long in The Phantom Menace. Yeah, that's visually imaginative, right? Yeah, I haven't seen that before, except on, NASCAR races and Ben-Hur. Yeah, remember the scene with all the flags right before the pod race? Yeah, never seen that before, George. It's Ben-Hur again. Visually imaginative. Oh, okay. All right. So Anakin and Padme romping and rolling in the fields behind waterfalls. Yeah, we've never seen that before. No, never seen that before. How about this? How's this for visually imaginative? How about this? Was that the quote? Visually, yeah, okay. Innovative visual imagination. How about this? Let's compare another movie. Is this The Phantom Menace or is this Return of the Jedi? Somebody in a ship flies inside something else to blow it up from the inside. It's both. Hey, how about that? Visually imaginative. Give me a break. Gracious. Okay, so let's now swing our attention to Samuel L. Jackson. Oh, yes. This guy, if Will Smith is the king of cool, then Samuel L. Jackson is the king of I'm going to beat the crap out of you. But, it's Samuel L. Jackson, so you'll think it's really cool also. I mean, Liam Neeson may be like a close second, but, it's Samuel L. Jackson. I mean, give me a break. So Samuel L. Jackson said in an interview that he thinks Mace Windu may still be alive. Mace Windu, the Jedi Master from Episode 3 of Star Wars, who got both his arms sliced off by Anakin Skywalker, got electrocuted by Palpatine, and flew out of a high-rise window. And Samuel L. Jackson thinks he may still be alive. For a long time, I was actually an advocate of this theory because, let's face it, if Darth Maul can survive being sliced in half and fall down a huge trench or hole or whatever, then why not Samuel L. Jackson? All he did was lose 2 arms. We never actually saw the body. We never actually saw him die. We saw Dumbledore die. We saw Liam Neeson die. We've seen lots of people die. But we never saw Sammy die. So is it possible he's still alive? Well, he thinks so. Well, that's great. I think that I should also win the lottery. I think Scarlett Johansson should have a Black Widow movie. But, thinking it and saying it doesn't make it so. Well, that's all that clickbait artists needed. Clickbait, for those who don't know, are websites that say things like, this little boy walked up to this biker. You'll never believe what happened next. And you got to click on it to find out, what happened. Well, that's the same thing here. I actually saw confirmed and breaking news, Mace Windu still alive. Which, of course, that makes you want to click on the article to find out what's going on. It's nothing of the sort. It's just, all Samuel L. Jackson said was he thinks he's still alive. Samuel Jackson's an actor. He's not George Lucas. He's not J.J. Abrams. He's not Kathleen Kennedy. He's not Bob Iger, the CEO of Disney. Well, then George came out and actually agreed with him. He thinks Mace Windu's alive, too. It doesn't matter, though. I mean, it's George Lucas. It's not Dave Filoni, the creator and executive producer of Rebels, who said this. Now, if Filoni said it, then maybe we'll see Mace Windu in Rebels. But it's George. He's sitting on a beach somewhere. He's retired and out of the Star Wars game completely. I don't care what he says. He could say that he thinks Anakin Skywalker, when he was a kid, used to play with Barbies. Who cares? Originally I also wanted Anakin Skywalker to be a droid. Or how about this? This is a theory I've long loved this one. George Lucas comes out and says Obi-Wan Kenobi is really a clone. The original Kenobi died, and this is Obi-Wan Kenobi. Not Obi-Wan, but the number 1 Kenobi. And he was a clone the whole time. Doesn't make it so. Doesn't make it canon. Doesn't make it anything. It's just George Lucas talking. This is all this is Samuel L. Jackson talking and George Lucas talking. But no, these clickbait hacks, that's exactly what they are. They're hacks. Go out there, and now they can go back to their advertisers and say, look at all the clicks we get. We should get more money. Because people are clicking on their stupid sites because they put confirmed Mace Windu's still alive. Samuel L. Jackson says Mace Windu's still alive when he's not. He's dead. You know how I know he's dead? Because Pablo Hidalgo, who is the Grand Master of all Star Wars lore, came out and said Mace Windu died in episode 3. You know when he said that? Oh, he said it like Thursday, right? He said it Friday? No, he said it in May. Back in May, someone proposed the theory to Pablo that Mace Windu was still alive. And Pablo said, no, he died. That is from Lucasfilm itself. So please, don't run with this clickbait crap. Don't run with this nonsense. You go to a reputable source. You go to mygeeksnews.com. There's no clickbait there. That's fine, too. You can go. The Star Wars Underworld doesn't run that crap. I know that. Jedi News doesn't run that crap. Don't go to clickbait crap. Please, people. You're sharing it all over Facebook, and it's garbage. It is absolute clickbait garbage. Samuel L. Jackson says that Mace Windu's alive, so it must be so. Samuel L. Jackson has as much power in the Lucasfilm universe as I do. That's true. Here's another fact about Samuel L. Jackson and I. We both have the same number of rebounds in an NBA game. We both have the same number of home runs at Yankee Stadium. I mean, it drives me crazy. Absolutely drives me crazy. Okay. Oh, so in a couple of days here, we are getting ready to celebrate our happy little Independence Day. Happy 4th of July to everybody.
Strong and brave, here to save the American way.
All the soldiers and sailors and Marines out there, love you all.
Who vows to fight like a man for what's right night and day.
If you know somebody in the military, just say thank you. They do an awful lot for everybody. Don't get paid a lot.
Who will campaign door to door for America? Carry the flag shore to shore for America. From Hoboken to Spokane. The Star-Spangled Banner with a flag.
Yes, Independence Day. Outstanding. Happy 4th of July to everybody out there. Hope you practice it safely, please. Watch how you imbibe those adult beverages and then get behind the wheel. And then don't also forget, that you, fireworks. Yeah, San Antonio's gotten a little dry out here lately. Watch those brush fires, please. Thank you. All right, so let's get to the favorite part, the best part of the show, the one part that everybody loves. Let's talk about the Sarlacc pit.
What's going on?
We just got to the Sarlacc pit.
What's that?
It's this disgusting, horrible creature that's worse than anything you could ever imagine.
Every week at facebook.com/GYGOofficial, you get to tell us who you want to throw into the Sarlacc pit. And I don't mean, celebrities or politicians, because we'd spend the entire show chucking them in. No, something personal to you. And for me, this week, it's going to be, I had a good one. Oh, yes. HEB. You're throwing in HEB? No, I'm throwing in the idiots who go to HEB. That's the supermarket down here. And they, they write checks. And that takes forever. And, or they want a pack of smokes from like across the store. So the cashier has to go over there and take everyone's time. Or my personal favorite, the person who has a cartload of stuff in the express lane. Thank you very much. Idiots at HEB, I say, put them in. So let's see what else we have here on the Facebook page. We have Laura Nicole is in here and wants to throw in her ex-husband. This is going to get fun. You'll see what I mean here in a little bit. So for Laura, I say, put him in. Michael Twigg says, my money-hungry ex-wife. Is it a coincidence that they both posted at the same? I'm kind of wondering, Laura, how money-hungry are you? I'm just wondering. For Michael Twigg, I say, put him in. Dana George Cottrell says he wants to throw in the entire Detroit Tigers bullpen. Yeah, I can go with that. Take them all. Put them in. Let's see here. I got time. I got time for about one more. Okay. John McCormick from across the pond. This guy's out in the UK. Thanks for listening very much at 930amtheanswer.com. The England team for being bested by Iceland. Yeah, if you hadn't heard, the Brexit is kind of a sore spot for Brits right now. Sorry about that one. But then they go out and their England team gets beat by Iceland. By Iceland. I think I read somewhere that their coach is not even like a full-time coach, whereas the other guy's getting paid like $4 million a year to coach, or he got fired. Yeah, let's take the whole England team from Mac and put them in. Goose, you got someone you want to throw in?
Well, there's a certain restaurant chain here in town.
Uh-oh.
They're actually across South Texas,
Uh-oh.
and they are open 24 hours.
Except?
And I go through the drive-thru every so often, and sometimes I order this quesadilla from them, and I'm in my car. And you would think that if somebody orders a quesadilla that's in their car in the drive-thru, you would cut it all the way through. Sometimes they do not, and it can get rather messy.
Ooh.
So for the staff of that restaurant, which will remain nameless.
At this time.
Yeah, at this time I say, can I throw them in?
Put them in. All right, so we want to give special thanks to Alamo City Comics and Grawlix CMS for sponsoring the show today. Want to remind everyone out there, happy 4th of July. Don't forget to check us out on Facebook. And stay geeky and get your geek on every single day.